Let's say someone's listening and they want to get to 20K a month profit.
To me, these are easy one-person businesses that can go and print that degree of money. It's not a complicated thing. If you're the average American working for somebody, stressed out, on the clock, no freedom, no real roadmap to making more money, now is like the best time to shrink your goals down and say, if I could double my income and cut my stress in half, it's the Pareto principle of what we do. That's it. I haven't even gotten married yet and I made money selling a divorce product.
I think the best way to win with this or any lead gen business is to... You ever notice how there are certain income levels that are like very transformative for people? 10K a month is a really good living in the vast majority of cities in the world. 20K a month, that's just kind of a different level of lifestyle. And I think a lot of people aspire for that 20 to 30K per month number. So we wanted to start there in this episode and work backwards and come up with some creative ideas that don't require employees, that don't require a big upfront investment of getting to 20K a month in net profit. This is probably the 15th time that Sam has been on the podcast. He's great. I wouldn't keep having him on if he wasn't great. You're just going to love this episode.
So I'm sitting in the Grow Faster call and I was talking about how there's so many different like verticals that you can go into. And I was talking about planning our wedding and how on Etsy, there's 9 million wedding planning templates and books and like checklists that you can buy, like all of this stuff. And as I was talking about it, I was like, well, the wedding market is humongous. And at least the stats in the United States is like 50% of these Johns are ending in divorce. So who's got the divorce market? Right. If like you're
other
watching
than
all
like
these,
a handful of lawyers.
Right. You're like, dude, there's all these like the not.com, like there's all of these massive businesses built on the wedding industry. Mm-hmm. And then the dark side of that is the 50% of them that end. And so you're still having a massive market that's sitting there on the flip side. And so, just started doing some keyword research, just kind of like seeing what it was. And to your point, most of the material out there was pushing to just like lawyers. Like all of that is divorce attorneys. And people don't really like their divorce attorneys very much. And so I was like, all right, that's something somebody should do. Somebody should go test that. Like it's a massive market. You can run Facebook ads at it. It's a super painful problem. Like it's expensive. It's emotional, right? Like there's a world that exists there. I told a group of them, but I was talking to one dude specifically and I was like, you should do this. Like this is right up your alley. You're telling me you want to launch this thing. And he didn't for like 6 weeks. Then I told another person about it. I was like, dude, I think this one will work. And then they didn't do anything about it. And so me.
Insert that Michael Jordan clip. And I took that personally.
And I took it personally, right? Same with the hummingbirds. Like I took it like, dude, like I'm not lying to you. Like I promise you that this is actually like, I see a lot of things. I have a lot of ideas. That one is very legit. Like I think that's a move. And so I was watching some sporting event and I think Lauren went to the gym or something. And I literally just sat there with ChatGPT and was like, write me this book. And I launched the first funnel with perspective.
Okay.
Love perspective. We use it for all of our funnels.
Tell me and the listeners, watchers, what you mean by funnel.
Yeah, the landing page, basically, right? Like the sales page for it. I use the word funnel because it's 2-step and like that's just the language. So then I built the first one on perspective, tested it out, priced the book at $29 for an ebook, digital copy, which is awesome. 0 cogs, phenomenal. I don't know, I probably spent like $500 on ads in like the first few days. I was probably, I probably do $100 a day. So $500 to $700 in that first week.
Fun fact, 80% of the people that watch my YouTube videos are not subscribed to me. And most of them think they are. They see them in the feed, but they're not subscribed to me. So please, it'll take half a second. Just click subscribe and it would mean a ton to me. Let me drill in on that. Are we talking Meta ads anywhere Meta wants to show it? Or were you only doing like stories, reels?
Super
anywhere?
Super
what
broad.
About
I do automatic placements, broad targeting. Facebook is smarter than us and will dictate the spend based on what you're trying to optimize for.
You didn't tell Facebook at all who to show it to or on what medium to show it.
No, super broad. And I said, I just want purchases. And then I just kind of let it ride.
You used a pixel on the thank you page?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. And so perspective is nice because you can track specific conversion events.
We need to get them to pay for this pod.
Bro, I'm saying,
Say,
I'm already
send us
affiliate.
$5,000
I want you.
perspective.
Yeah. Come on. I'm in. I'll promote you guys whenever. I'm a happy user. Yeah. So basically it was like, all right, I spent 500, 600, whatever it was in the first week, probably made, I think I did like 400 ish in sales. And so like not profitable, but like signal. It's like, oh,
yep.
Like I'm selling this thing for $29. It's costing me $40 to get that purchase. And so then you just play the math game, right? And so then I was like, all right, dude, let me transition this thing over to ClickFunnels, because ClickFunnels has better like upsell, downsell, bump offers, right? Stuff that you can do to increase your AOV.
I know where you're going with this.
Right.
Well,
and so then
dude, what is the monetary value of having a little edge at winning your divorce? It could be millions of dollars.
And so I launched the negotiation training toolkit, $17 bump offer. They add the book to cart for $29. Before they put in their payment details, it says, do you want to add this thing? Yes, no. I think it's like 70% of people are saying yes. And so AOV went to, if they buy both, you land at like 48, I think is the math. 17 plus 29, whatever, somewhere in there. Maybe I put it at 18. I think it's 47. AOV landed around 42.
Average order value?
Yep. And so that's on the first. Turn the ads back on, made some new creatives, basically running at break even right now. Like it sits at 40 to 45 on the CAC.
Customer acquisition cost?
Yep. This thing's done, $5 or $6 grand in sales at this point, right? Like, and basically broken even all the way through. And I started getting some support emails, people being like, when does my book ship? Right.
Okay.
Jeez Louise, dude.
It has
like,
it's got to go to space, Linda.
Yeah. I was like, dude, email, check that. It's all good. The book also, like V1 was not good. Like it was very much AI slop, just like placeholder. Hey, let's do it. And so at that point, I was like, all right, cool. I bet you I could increase my conversion rate if I ship the books. Like if I actually printed real copies of this book. And so I spent like 5 hours with chat and made it good. Like the book's actually pretty solid. It's 200 pages. I went to Printivity, I think because Printify is print on demand for clothing and stuff, but I think this is Printivity. And I ordered 300 copies of it. It came out to like maybe $6 a book.
Okay.
Ish. So landed to a customer, you add shipping in there. And so you're probably at like 8.5. And so ran those ads, turned them on, and recently ran into a Facebook ads issue, which is it got classified as targeting personal hardship, which is I don't want to say the no-fly zone with Facebook, but what they don't let you do is they don't let you attribute purchases back to your pixel.
Ooh, that's
super annoying.
Yeah.
And it won't optimize based on the purchase event. And so I've turned the ads off. I'm waiting to hear back on Facebook. I understand that claim or that like categorization. I'm a little frustrated that happened right after I spent $3,000 or whatever it was on these books. And so without having the optimization in place, really challenging for me to beat like a $50 CAC. It still gets purchases, but there's no line of sight really for me to be able to optimize that all the way through. And so I turned them off for now until I hear back from Facebook. But all of that to say, like, again, another one of those examples of like, you can just like figure out a problem, wrap a solution in a book. Things. And yeah, you can just do things and you can start to sell them. Lauren might not be super pleased that there's 300 copies of a book called How to Win Your Divorce in our garage 6 months before our wedding. But,
one wasn't enough.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm really soaking up the material. No, it's, but yeah, I think again, it's one of those, the other piece of that too is I was just using ads to do it. I think there's worlds where I could go and launch theme pages around divorce or crazy divorce stories or, any of those things that would allow for me to get through that inventory for free.
Let me get this out, dude.
Yeah.
First of all, I did a little prompt as you were talking. I asked our friend ChatGPT, or as the boomers call it, chat, which I kind of like.
I like it too.
Like it.
I'm in.
I didn't at first because it was like, they're saying it wrong. And then it's like, doesn't matter. That's cool.
No. Yeah.
It's 3 less syllables.
I'm just going to hit chat.
I'm going to talk chat. So also they own chat.com now. So
good.
I asked, how much do lawyers make from divorces, and do they pay referral fees if I bring them customers? And if so, how much in referral fees is industry standard? So first of all, I've looked into this industry before. I almost bought the domain name internationallawyers.com because I was going to have a directory or a programmatic site where I brought leads to lawyers.
Yep.
But there's some legalities to this, right? Certain states allow you to accept referral fees. Certain states require you to be a lawyer to accept a referral fee from another lawyer. Just like in real estate, the same is true. But there are ways around this. There are legal ways around this. Number one, you're a consultant. You're a consultant that happens to refer them customers, and he's paying a consulting fee, 30% of the total fees that he collects, which are between $7,000 and $23,000. The average divorce attorney charging $270 an hour. So these little books, now it becomes a tool for you to have a $0, break-even customer acquisition, and you can make this a high ticket where 5% of people that buy your book, you refer to a lawyer that you just Google. Hop on a call with beforehand to say, hey, Mr. Lawyer, I've got this customer. What can 100%. You give me? Oh, I can't. Are you a lawyer? No, I can't. I'm a consultant. I don't need a referral fee. I need a consulting fee.
Pay per lead, baby. It's all good.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's the same. And so the other piece that I did was I added on a back end offer. So they pay for the book. They get the bump offer. So that pushes AOV up on the top. Then on the back, I put it live like a couple days before I turned the ads off. So I didn't get any purchases on it, but I put a $300 program on the back, which is very much, it's the financial protection protocol, right? Divorce is one of the most expensive things the FPP.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's one of the most expensive things that people go through in their life. And so it's all like very targeted messaging towards like how to come out of this not financially destroyed and have a plan for building wealth post divorce. There's also, to your point, like so many monetization models on the back of that. You could pretty easily launch like a support group with an annual fee. You could, I already have mock-ups for the second book, which is dating after divorce. Right. And like, there's like, there's
book, DAD.
DAD. And so there's a bunch of problems within this macro market that people can solve for. And so it's like, again, it's when you think about low lift stuff to kind of get off the ground, sure, there's a learning curve with some of the skills that you need to be able to do it, but those are applicable to every business you're ever going to launch, right? Copywriting, landing pages, getting comfortable in the Facebook ads manager, right? Like all of those different skills, but like at its core, you can apply that skill set to anything, right? Like, and that's why I always just push people to go do one, because if you do one, then all of a sudden you've built a landing page before and you're not scared of it. You've written copy before, you've made ads, you've ran ads. Like it is not the most complicated thing for people to learn how to do, especially if you just do it once. And then you can go and apply that to any market ever.
Dude, we talk about this every time you come on.
I know.
Like,
I'm like,
just
every episode
for good reason.
I'm like, guys, like just go do it, because like I promise you the next idea that you have is always going to be like, there's a problem that needs to be solved. How do you convince somebody and get attention? And it's like, you write a landing page, you make ads that speak to the problem. You run that's that same skill set all the way through. Yeah. And like, it turns literally like, I haven't even gotten married yet, and I made money selling a divorce product. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's
in the sizzle reel.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, that's not like, you just can apply it to any market, like without a problem.
Let me ask you this. How did you go from the nexus of this idea, which was just broing down in your community saying divorce, yada, yada, yada. You never thought of it before. How did you go from that to, I have enough data points now to invest 3 hours into this? Like, did you do much research? Did you look at keywords or Google Trends?
No, because I think people get caught in that, right? Where it's like everyone spends all this time
out of it.
Yeah, they go so deep into like figuring out if it's a good business idea instead of just testing it. It's funny. It's another one of the conversations that's a recurring theme in the Grow Faster community, and it's like, there are best practices within business, right? Like there's an average add to cart rate in e-com brands. Sure.
All right, I want to pause here just for a second to tell you why I've used Beehive for 2 years. And I just actually sent my 100th newsletter edition. I love Beehive. And you see, email's different from other platforms because social media platforms own your audience. In fact, YouTube just banned me for a week because they didn't like one of my videos, even though it was perfectly compliant. If Instagram changes their algorithm, your reach tanks. Same with TikTok, Facebook, and anything else. You're building on rented land, but with Beehive, I own my list. I own my audience. I'm not at the mercy of some nameless, faceless algorithm. Every time I hit send, they just get my emails. And Beehive makes this simple: growth tools, monetization, and a free website. And I can't get enough of their analytics and the data I get from Beehive. This is data that I can actually use and share with potential sponsors. It's everything you need in one platform. The smartest creators out there are the ones that own their own audience. So go to beehive.com/Chris to get 30% off your first 3 months. That's BEEHIIV.com/Chris and start building something you actually own. What would you say that is?
Add to cart rate?
Yeah.
This is the question, right? It's so dependent, right? Because like, are you selling a $6,000 sauna, or are you selling, like, are you a fashion brand where people are adding and kind of like keeping stuff in cart and just like saving stuff, right? Like it's so varied that it's hard to be like 22%, right? Because it's like, dude, Tesla's add to cart is not, but their conversion rate from add to cart to purchase is way higher because no one's reserving a Tesla without wanting to buy it, right? And so it's like, there's all of these metrics that like are very unique to each business. And like, you might find ad accounts that are doing better at getting cost per click down, that you're beating that, but you're not beating your, like there's so much nuance there that it's hard for me to sit there and be like, and with a straight face, be like, these are the numbers you should expect. The only way that I look at good versus bad is really comparing it against past owned performance. Right? Like, did I improve my cost per click? Not is my cost per click good or bad based on the industry. It's like, can I make this math work for myself? Like, when you ask somebody what they're seeing, take it with a grain of salt because it's not your business. There's different variables. There's different pieces. Go test something so you get first party data and can make your own decisions based on the data that you are creating. Of like, if I drop my cost per click by 30%, this should be profitable. Then you know what you need to do, right? Like, just get in the game.
There's so much beauty to ignorance because if we start doing all this research, we're going to read some AI generated blog article that says like, what does cost per click average in the e-commerce industry on Facebook ads? $1.42. Right. And then you start your Facebook ads and you see your cost per click is $7. And you're like, oh, this doesn't work. It's like, bro, you're selling $6,000 saunas.
Right.
It's totally different.
Totally different. Like,
so that research kind of did them in.
It's funny. It's the reason why everyone's like, what podcast do you listen to? What? And I don't really.
It's the Koerner office.
I only listen to one, and it's you when I'm on it.
Obviously.
Right. And so it's like I'll watch them every once in a while, but like, I'm not taking what people are saying as like, oh, to compare against myself. Like, dude, he couldn't get it to work with this, but like, no, like, here's the problem I need to solve for my thing. My AOV is this, my conversion rate is this, my cost per click is this. I know what I need to do. I don't care what the other e-com brand's doing. I can see my numbers. And so I think that piece of it is like, it's why we have this conversation every single time, which is like, no, I didn't do that much research. I asked ChatGPT basically the same question as you. And how many people? I was like, how many people a year in the US go through a divorce? Cool. It's like 2 point whatever million or whatever it is. And it's like, that's a big enough market that's interesting to me. Like, that's fine. I'll play that game. And the markets are so big that it's like, dude, even if there was competition, it's like, I'll still try to compete. Like, that's fine.
Let me ask you this. Let's say someone's listening or watching and they want to get to 20K a month profit.
Yep.
Okay. 250, 240 a year profit. Let's use your idea plus my tweak of it, which is like referral fees to lawyers. Let's back end into that. So let's say you're selling these ebooks. Let's just say it's only ebooks to keep it simple. You're breaking even on your ad spend. What do you think a reasonable conversion rate is for someone that buys a book and ends up going to the lawyer that you refer to them?
No idea. So you get 100 purchases on the book, right? How many do you think end up working with a see? And I would probably, there's a risk level that's involved with what I'm about to say. One is you say to the lawyer, you're only going to pay me when somebody signs to work with you, right? And the value of that is much higher. Let's just, for easy math, let's say on a signed contract, they will pay you $1,000, right? Sweet. Or you go to the lawyer and say, hey, I'll send you every single lead that comes from the state of California. And each of those leads, you pay me $100. Less risk for you, but you get paid less. More risk for the lawyer, so they pay less, right? And so you figure out where that math works. But then you start sitting there and you say, well, I've sent this guy 100 leads and 8 of them converted, right? He's paid me 10 grand. And of those 8, if he were paying me 1,000, I'd make 8 grand. Sweet. I'm going to keep paying him. I'm going to keep selling him $100 leads left, right, and center. Right. But if that number has changed and it's like 16 close and I could have made 16 grand by selling him closed deals, then you go, I don't sell this anymore. You call 3 more attorneys in California and say, hey, like for every 100 leads that I send, 16 of them end up signing up to work with somebody. I charge $1,200, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so you just go deeper into it to figure out the math. I think like the question of 20,000 just comes down to like really figuring out the math side of that, right? Like similar with like a take rate on that 300 purchase, right? So like if your take rate is 3%, right? And on that one, you're breaking even top of funnel. 3% take rate on the back at 300 puts you at $900 a day in profit, right? And so you're like,
27K
okay,
a month.
Right. And so you're sitting there with a take rate of 3%, meaning, cool, I need to spend enough money on ads to push 100 orders of this book. Easy math, right? Like that's it. To me, these are easy, like 1-person businesses that can go and print that degree of money if you just like commit to doing that, right? Like, cool, I need to get this to 3%. Like it's not a complicated thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to improve conversion rates and I need to run better ads. That's what you're waking up doing.
Yeah. There's a third option, and that's like, give me a quarter of your revenue once, like every time you invoice them, give me a quarter of that. And the risk there is that lawyer could run away. Lawyers don't exactly have the best reputation for being honest and upfront, right? Which is honestly why I love this business, because it's not capitalizing on people that's getting a divorce.
Dude.
It's capitalizing on lawyers, which have money to spend. No one's crying about lawyers spending money, right?
For sure.
And if you can genuinely help someone that's about to be divorced find a great lawyer, then you're doing a good for the world, right?
For sure.
But in any lead gen business, there's going to be a trade-off between hand-holding, how much you have to trust someone, and the potential profitability, right?
Yeah, and you just got to find where that line is.
Yeah. I think the best way to win with this or any lead gen business is to really just develop a good relationship with like 2 to 3 lawyers that you feel good about, that's willing to pass all the data back to you so you know what's closing, who's closing, because then you can leverage those 2 to 3 relationships into a pricing model that works for lawyers you don't know very well and you don't trust very well. Because at the end of that 3-month relationship or whatever it is, at the end of the first 3 months, you're going to know, I'm just making this up, wow, just selling these leads for $100 a pop is amazing. That's the best and highest use of these leads for me, because anything outside of that, I'm having to only find lawyers that are great at closing deals. And most lawyers aren't great at sales. I don't want to have to care if they're good at sales. So I just want my money up front. Maybe they'll make a little more than the other scenario, maybe not. But you've got to be like really ingrained with their business and be relentless about asking them for how it's going. How's it? Did that deal close? Did the lead close? You know, et cetera.
And there's the degree of how much work you want to put in, right? Like if you don't want to deal with all of that, you don't want to have to, then it's like, yo, cool, I'm just going to run it off this like pay per lead model. And like, I'm not even going to worry about it. Like they can close who they want, not close who they want. The only part of that impacts me is if they're not good at selling, they're going to ask me to stop sending leads because they're paying for them, right? Like, cool. And then you have the proof and you can go to every other divorce attorney in the state and say, let's go. Like, I'm doing this. This is fine. I think it applies to every industry under the sun, right? Like, I mean, to be blunt, like we made a massive bet on the pay per lead model. I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a domain, paypercall.io, based on this of like, we will go generate the calls, people calling your business. You pay me for the call. You close, you do it. We debated do we do pay per appointment, meaning we pick up the phone and we put it on their service Titan, or are we doing that work? And the answer was no. Like they would have paid us more money if we were to say, hey, we're pay per appointment.
Yep.
Right. But like, we didn't want to sign up for the headache of managing a call center, or right. Like, we didn't really want to get that ingrained. It was not where we wanted to live.
Quick question. What if there were a private community out there of people that were building businesses based on this podcast? Well, I just made it. And it's only for business starters and business builders. It's called TK Owners. And it's basically like having me and 100 other business geniuses as your business partner. Also, there's going to be exclusive new trends, growth hacks, business ideas, and a database of everything I've ever talked about. You'll find thousands of startup case studies. You'll have weekly Ask Me Anythings with me while I'll answer your questions directly. You can join now at tkowners.com, link in the show notes.
And the nice part is like a lot of these $1 million conversations and these big business things, you don't even have to worry about any of that stuff to make $20,000 a month. Like you don't even all you really need is like a good offer.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a much simpler setup that you really can run as a one-person shop if you find the math and the offer that makes sense there to like make 20 grand a month. It's like it's not easy, but it's way easier than making $1 million a year by like orders of magnitude. You've seen it. Like you've been at all of those levels. Like the jump from a one-person business doing $20,000 a month to a 6-person business doing $1 million a month or $1 million a year is like, there's a lot of work that goes into that specific jump. You're changing what the organization is. Like that's a hard thing to get through.
It's 4 times more revenue for maybe 2 times more profit and like 6 times more work.
100% stress, work, people.
It's the messy middle.
It's a lot, right? And like we found ourselves in that slump for 12 months where we really were like, dude, we've doubled revenue, but like I'm not making any more money because we had to commit to like, I'm going to make way more money 12 months from now if we continue the growth curve, because then all my like that's when I will win bigger.
The compounding,
right? And so it's like I think more people should like take a step back and be like, what am I actually trying to achieve here? Really easy to get impressed by the yachts and the Ferraris and the private jets and the Rolexes and all of that stuff. But like, I would gamble that like, if you're I'm going to say an average American, right? If you're making $120K a year, working for somebody, stressed out, on the clock, no freedom, no real like roadmap to making more money, I think now is like the best time to shrink your goals down and say, yo, I'm really only trying to get to $250,000 a year. If I could double my income and cut my stress in half, it's the Pareto principle of what we do. That's it. And so I think, again, with that prompt is like, there's a handful of those businesses that you can go and make $20,000 a month on profit, running it just you. And if the emails are slowing you down, go hire a VA for $1,200 a month. And like, you could run a very smooth operation and make that money.
Yeah. And I feel like if someone is about to launch something like this lead gen business and they have to choose between the higher touch, maybe potentially higher profit option and the lower touch, lower profit option, I opt to go for the lower touch, lower profit, because if you get burned out on the harder version, then you'll never even see what could have been. But if you start with like, all right, you know what, these leads are worth $300 easy. Yeah. I'm going to sell them for $100 because it's easier. And I don't have to babysit these lawyers. I don't have to trust them. They're going to pay me on day one whether they close or not. And then after 3 months, you're going to be like, wow, these are closing a lot higher than I thought. Like, I don't even need to ask the lawyers because I'm asking the divorcees and they're telling me, yeah, he's a great lawyer. I used him. I'm good. Thank you so much. These are now $150 leads, or these are now 30% referral fees. And I'm going to double my money. But if you start with that, you may never find success.
Yeah. It's like, people biting off more than they can chew and then being like, it doesn't work. And it's like, no, you just tried to do too much. Like you went too deep into it. It's like, dude, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Like, sell leads.
First of all, we both know that like the lead gen business for lawyers is huge, right? We're not inventing it on this podcast, but here's what I think we might have invented, which is mostly credit to you, using eBooks to generate leads in a kind of roundabout way. Because if I go to a lawyer that's been buying leads for a decade, he's going to roll his eyes and say, your leads probably suck. All these leads suck. Yeah, they're burned out, right?
Yeah.
But if I go to him and say, I don't just use Google ads or Facebook ads for that matter for leads like you're used to. I sell books, and these are very targeted books. It might not even be how to win your divorce. It might be how does a mom of 4 win her divorce in New Hampshire, for all I know.
Yeah.
Like something very, very niche where your conversion rate on 10 of those books might be 20%, and your conversion rate on 100 of the more general books might be 2%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
That could be the whole model. You can make a book for what to do after your car accident. What do I do after my slip and fall? What do I do if I'm in a relationship with domestic abuse? What do I do if I just got a DUI?
Right.
And take all these leads and give them to DUI lawyers, to domestic abuse lawyers, like that could be a whole business that just starts with divorce or starts with DUIs or whatever.
Dude, you write a book called Erase Your DUI.
Oh, where's that domain? I gotta look at the domain.
I'm sure it's available, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like, you go make a mock-up on Canva, you run some ads, you had ChatGPT write the book. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like not that complicated. It's like, what is the thing that people want to pay for? The pay per lead model, all you're trying to do is arbitrage it, right? And so like you have a CAC to acquire that lead. And it's funny, when we talk about it a lot, we think about wholesale retail, right? And so like if you can get the retail buyers that are willing to spend $100 a lead, but you can go and get leads for $60 wholesale, whether it's self-derivative, right? Like you can figure that out. Then you're like, oh, how do I create more margin? And by putting a book in the front, you're actually revenue generating on the top, meaning that like even in this model, let's just say like what I have, even if my CAC is $50 and my AOV is $40,
losing $10 per lead,
that cost per lead goes to $10. But if I'm making 100, right, it's like you're still good.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're a happy camper.
The legal cost per click on Google is like the highest of any industry.
Bro,
you might need to pay like if you're looking for like a trucking accident lead on Google Ads, you might spend like legitimately $5,000 for that lead, right? But if I can sell a book with $100 of Facebook ads and my average order value is $20, I lose $80. Like that's an $80 lead instead of $1,000 lead or whatever. What are we talking about?
I know. Like someone can go and do that pretty easily.
All right, what'd you think? Please share it with a friend, and we'll see you next time on the Koerner Office.